Queen, Los Meepos Hermanos, and chips of bags and
No,
bags of
bag of
chips
chips and
and
pepperoni.
pepperoni. Chips of bags. They have their acronym mixed up. It
Yeah,
said
on there.
CBP, which was weird. Okay, so that's right. Bag of chips and pepperoni. And you said they were recently Avanti's Angels
Yeah,
or Angels.
they've got Jenkins, and the guy tagged up as the CEVO admin slash CEO is not that. That's actually
Okay.
Shredder as
Oh,
well.
okay.
And
Okay.
Factor Fiction, I believe, was also on Avanti's Angles. Tabo is coming over from Chibusa's Minions slash Helios Esports, and Nusham's a name that rings a bell, but I can't quite remember where he's from. But pretty experienced players. They've played a few seasons of CEVO, and Los Mipos Hermanos has Squee, who was on Swag, but a different swag. Some wacky ass G's for the first couple seasons of CEVO.
I like it.
This
So
is
for
actually his
people,
collegiate team for University of Central Florida.
oh, that's pretty cool. So the CSL starting to come into play here.
I don't know if they're in that, but this is a team that is all based at that college.
Well, I'm hoping that the CSL starts coming into play soon because we need more teams in North America. But no, for those of you in chat who are wondering, I believe there was a game tagged up that we were supposed to be casting tonight that we couldn't, and that's just due to a lot of the facts that a lot of these teams aren't able to play right now. So for those who are expecting Swag versus what was it? Swag versus
I don't know how to say it because it's Latin, but Seed
oh
Nullis or TCN as they've been showing up on the Join Dota match ticker and Gozu Gamers.
yeah, unfortunately that is not going to be played tonight, or at least not on the ticket or stream, as they weren't able to all check in at a reasonable time. So unfortunately, not tonight, but we definitely will expect to see them play later on in the season. This draft is going well into the banning phase here, so why don't we get started on that?
Yeah, so I mean, from Los Mipos Hermanos, looks like they're banning out, two heroes that can be pretty aggressive, especially the Visage in the lane. But Slark just gets level 6. You can pretty much ult to kill supports anywhere on the map and usually get away. Hero that can definitely snowball, being picked up in the Western scene quite a bit, and they're actually gonna go with that Bristleback as their first pick here.
Right on, and that's going to be immediately countered by the Doom. I almost was going to say that before it happened. This guy, Doom, is an amazing hero versus Bristleback, just because Bristleback, most of his ability, most of his dominance in the lane comes from his skills. And when Doom comes in and sends that little hex or that little mark on him, Bristleback just melts completely. And I believe, doesn't it turn off the Bristleback passive, so he doesn't get that damage reduction at all? And he also doesn't get the quill stacks.
I'm hesitant to agree because although Doom's ability says it disables most passives, it really doesn't, so it's hard to tell. But let's say it does. That makes sense. Either way, he's not going to be spamming Quill Spray or Viscous Nasal Goo, and even with the Bristleback passive, Bristle's not going to be too strong if he's reducing that damage. This Venomancer's going to get picked up second as well, so a team that can, with the auras that Doom brings to the table, they could potentially be pushing down some towers fairly early with the Venomancer. Maybe they want to pick themselves up a Chen or an Enchantress as that second support on the side of Bag and Chips and Pepperoni. And we see Crystal Mating being banned out, as well as Los Mipos Hermanos banning out the OD.
OD is a pretty popular ban versus the Invoker as well, especially when you pick him up this early in the draft. I mean, I've been seeing him a lot as first pick, or first or second pick nowadays, and you got to ban out the heroes that are good versus him now earlier on in the banning phase, instead of leaving him to the last pick, because if you leave him to the last pick, then you might not be able to have a lot of room to place the Invoker. So we might be seeing a Quas Wex Invoker just to reduce some of these early pushes of Bag of Chips and Pepperoni. And it looks like with the Luna being banned out, that might be the plan.
Indeed, and we'll see if it's going to go Quas Wex or Quas Exort. Usually, I guess a couple weeks ago it would have been Quas Exort across the board with the Forge Spirits being extremely overpowered, but since Ghostwalk as well as EMP getting some big buffs, Quas Wex now getting pretty popular, and it's also generally without a Midas. Just looking to be that utility in the team fight to get things off the ground, but you're going to need some other cores building some right-clicking damage items because that Quas Wex Invoker isn't going to really bring that to the table, but a Luna ban, which I think you just pointed out, Ban getting banned out as well. So 2 supports targeted out with Bag of Chips and Pepperoni's bans because, well, looking over at Los Mipos Hermanos, they've got no supports yet, so pretty smart.
Yeah, Bane and Crystal Maiden being the two prominent supports already, with Visage already banned out. They could also be anticipating the possible Mirana into the Sunstrike Invoker. That's going to be the Exhort Invoker. So some decent being bans out by them. But I just checked it out. Actually, the Bristleback passive is disabled by Doom. So that is why he does get picked up immediately after the Bristleback almost every single time we see him.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's effective, sometimes it's really not. Doom can at least take him out of the fight, so it gives you a better chance to win it. You know, maybe 5 versus 4 if it's starts 5-on-5.
Yep.
But you're going to need some lockdown still, otherwise Bristleback can just kind of scurry away after you throw the Doom, and I don't know.
Well, you're talking about lockdown. You got Venomancer Lion now coming
That's
out.
true. It's not going to be too easy to run away from the, what is this one even called? The Earth Spike here from Lion.
Yep.
So all those Impale abilities, sometimes they get it confusing. But yeah, the slow here from Venomous Gale will be nice. Earth Spike, the, 14% slow here from the Poison Sting coming out once that's maxed up. So it will be pretty hard for Bristleback to just run away, as we see Meepos Hermanos going for their third pick, likely to be a support here. They're actually going to go with the Rubik.
All right, yeah. So Rubik being picked up is a decent initiator into the Sunstrike, but we see all too often, I talk about this Rubik Invoker combo where you got to land it right on, and sometimes the Rubik likes to put down the telekinesis in a weird location, or sometimes the Invoker sees that Rubik might be putting him down in a weird location and misaiming. Either way, there's a lot of miscommunication with these two heroes, and I'm hoping that we don't have to worry about that tonight. But still, Rubik, a very decent support to go with those sort of setup abilities. But Lion, Earthspike, you know, I have to say, I have to chime in, that there was a point in NEL where I completely messed those three skills, the Earthspike, the Burrow Strike, and the Impale. And
what did you resort to? What did you call them?
I called them all Impale.
Yeah, okay, that's what I did too. I feel like no one really goes to the Earthspike as default. You kind of just jump to Impale.
It's so weird. No one, like, the Earthspike too, no one sees Lion anymore, so you never really talk about it. But
well, he got that buff, the 2.5 second duration on Hex that came, I think it was 7.9 that brought that, which, you know, it's a pretty good instant disable, similar to Rasta's Hex, which I want to say, I think those are the only two abilities that are named exactly the same thing in the entire game, as Templar Assassin gets picked up 4th here.
They could be. I think no. I'm thinking of something different. There's two that are very similar.
There's like Static Link. There's Static Field. There's Arcane Attack. There's like Arcane Orb. Like some are very similar, but I think it's Hex and Hex from Lion and Shaman.
Oh, you know this is the one that really
the
screws me up. Arcane Orb and Arcane Bolt, Outerworld Devourer and Skywrath Mage. Those screw me up so much.
Yeah, those ones. That's another example of very similar spells.
All right, so.
Well, they need a core hero or an offlaner for Hermanos.
What are they gonna pick? They need a carry, to be honest, because I think they're gonna run Bristleback as that offlaner.
Yeah, okay, well, Viper's gonna get picked up now, so it's looking a little stranger. No traditional carries, but whenever you see Bristleback as well as Viper, you get kind of scared because you need to bring down one or the other. Invoker as well is going to have a lot of spells at his disposal, and so is Rubik because he's going to be stealing up some good spells from Lion or Venomancer. So Doom could be one of those classic Doom refresher games coming out here from Shredder.
This is one of those games, though, where when you see the Rubik pick up the Aghanim Scepter, you can't help but wonder, well, shit, what do we do now? Because now Rubik's going to have access to a Poison Nova that's insanely strong, a Doom that's insanely strong, and an area of effect Finger of Death. So you got to be really careful about how this Rubik is going to be played in this game. And you were saying Viper and Bristleback, not traditional carries, but they are very strong, tanky cores. And when paired up with an Invoker, you get a tri-core lineup that you can't help but wonder, is it going to be too strong for Bags of Chips and Pepperoni to deal with? Well, they decide to pick up the Templar Assassin with that meld damage that should be able to output the DPS very good, very well.
Yeah, and we'll see, based on the last support here from, I might just switch to English for this name, the Meepo brothers. It's so much easier to say for me. Los Meepos, Hermanos, we can stick with that. But they could potentially go aggressive with the Bristleback Rubik plus one more, keep Invoker in the safe lane, and, well, maybe not even the safe lane, but basically just try to ensure that they get the matchup Viper versus TA, because that will be very hard for TA. And we'll see if they want to do that based on their picks. Some bans come out. It's going to be Rasta getting taken out by a bag of chips and Pepperoni.
Yep, there can only be one hexing hero. It's kind of like the Highlander of Dota. You got one, you can't have the other. Rasta, though, the ban out. Well, that removes lockdown potential, which is very strong versus Templar Assassin. But I mean, they could be going for the ban out of Rasta because they don't want early towers to go down. Other than that, I'm trying to think of what heroes that bags of chips and Pepperoni could be going for last that the Rasta might counter.
Yeah, I don't know if Rasta really counters anybody, but he is very much of a threat, pushing into towers. They don't really have anybody that can take out the Rasta wards. They've got 2 ranged supports. TA, I guess she's semi-ranged. And then Doom, it's going to be pretty hard for them to stand up and tank the wards.
That's a good point.
And I think they realize that the Meepos definitely need to get the game over earlier, and Rasta, I think, could help facilitate that with his Mass Serpent wards, as Windrunner is going to get banned out here. So we're going to be looking at the last pick here for BCP, and we'll see what it's going to be.
Well, they get Los Meepos Hermanos. Only reason I say it like that is because of Los Polos Hermanos, which is someone I know very well. But yeah, the Windrunner banned out. Mirana's going to actually be the pick, despite having no access to Crystal Maiden or Bane. They feel the line setup is good enough for those arrows, and that's going to be their third quote-unquote core of this game with the Templar Assassin and Doom, and a very strong one at that in terms of damage, but in tank, not great. So they're going to be looking towards Doom to provide that kind of punching bag ability. Meanwhile, Hermanos, how are they going to deal with this?
Well, they need another support. I'm curious as to what they're going to pick. Nyx, okay, Ooh. Undying. Really? Undying getting picked up here.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, are they going to go aggressive with this? I feel like they might. They're going to have just the lift from Rubik. That's about it. Maybe the goo from Bristleback picked up is enough to keep someone, under the effect of the tombstone. So Undying could dish out some damage potentially.
What do you think? Is this going to be offensive tri-lane, Rubik, Bristleback, Undying, or defensive, Viper, Rubik, Undying?
I feel like it has to be aggressive because you've got nowhere to put your Invoker or your Viper. Neither of them can really go into the offlane that effectively.
Yeah, Viper maybe, but you're right. Viper is one of the best heroes in a 1v1 matchup. If you pit him against a tri-lane, you're going to get nothing out of him. And Invoker is the same exact way. Maybe a Quas Wex Invoker could deal decently with that sort of setup. But overall, I mean, we can expect an Invoker to get destroyed by a tri-lane. So yeah, they're definitely going to have to place the Undying in that situation with the Rubik. And an interchangeable core could be either Bristleback or Viper. I imagine, though, with Bristleback's skill set, that it's going to be him.
Alright, well, since we're a little unsure of what the lanes are going to be, let's introduce the team so we can analyze the lanes a little bit later when they do form. Over on the side of Bag of Chips and Pepperoni, on the Doom, one of his favorite heroes, likes to go for the Refresher Ags. It's going to be Shredder. Playing the Venomancer, it's actually going to be Jenkins on the line. Handling that's going to be Tabo. Newsham on the Mirana, and Fact or Fiction. Definitely a fan of the snowballing heroes. So watch out for him as he's playing the Templar Assassin this game.
All right, and on the other side of the river, we have for Los Meepos Hermanos, Kryagar is going to be playing the Undying. Watashi, Wakalfire is going to be picking up the Bristleback. Game X Blouses will be on the Viper. Squee will be playing that Invoker, and no snitching on my man, the Rubik.
We need to get some trivia up in here. So Squee is one of the 3 goblins that makes up Techies. So that's where his name comes from.
Squee, Spleen, and
Spoon.
Spoon.
I think it's Spoon or Sploon. I don't know. But yeah,
I thought it was
fact.
Spooch. I don't know.
I don't think so. We can maybe get one of the viewers in the chat or someone to look it up, I suppose. But looking at the lane, so I think Bags of Chips, we need to shorten their name, so we're gonna call them BCP. They're trying to get that lane intel, so they're all going up top as 5, and I don't think they're gonna find anything, but of course it is gonna be, it looks like an aggressive lane with Undying. Viper is going to be in there, as he is ranged, so he'll do a little bit better. It's going to be Bristle, Watashiwa, Cal Fire down in the safe lane.
And of course, Viper is decently strong. I would imagine Bristle would be a lot stronger in that sort of situation, as Viper does excel, as I mentioned earlier, in the 1v1 situation. But we're going to have to wait and see how they play this. Of course, they do have the lockdown. They do have the slow from Cryojar's zombies. Not many people understand that whole interaction. But it's going to be a game where if you get low, you're going to die to this tri-lane. There are too many things that do more damage the lower HP you get. So they got to be really careful on the side of BCP about their management of their health in this lane.
Yeah, indeed. The zombies get a little crazy when they hit that death, lust, health threshold. Wow, say that 3 times fast. As well as, of course, you mentioned Nether Toxin, physical damage as well. Doing quite a bit of damage when people get low. So this bottom lane is actually going to be a dual lane. Templar Assassin as well as Lion are going to be going up against the Bristleback here.
That is interesting. And it looks like we might have a jungle Doom.
Yeah, that's what Shredder likes to do.
He's got to be here just to get that creep. He's not actually jungling, is he?
I think he normally does. He's going to jungle. He is going to get a Soul Ring, I think, and then he should be looking to go for a Midas into a Refresher, like straight off the bat. That's what he normally does.
All right, well, Mirana is going to be taking on this lane solo, and this is going to be an interesting fight for her. She does have a great escape, but she can't get anywhere close to this lane because any sort of lockdown is going to make her cry.
Well, they don't have that much, to be honest. It's just the lift. If she can live through the lift, she can probably leap away. Maybe not so much with just level 1 leap. It's not going to have as much move speed, and if she's already slowed, she's probably still going to be an easy target. So she's just there to pick up some XP. It's about all she really needs to be effective, and she can get some rotations going on after that.
It's about how much damage you can get off during the lift, though, and they've got a lot of burst damage. We're going to see if they can do it right now, though. Already, we have the Decay going out. There is your leap. And GameX Blouse is actually not getting as many auto attacks off as he'd like, but still getting a good chunk of damage out on the Mirana. She will be getting away, but is going to tango up most of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just game blouses, like the Dave Chappelle skit.
Oh, that could be right. No, I'm not, but there could already be a game.
Too young.
No. A smoke in the jungle gets revealed by the Doom, but he has no idea. If they turned around, that could have been trouble. But no, they're going to go straight on to Jenkins, and he's going to take a cold snap. The telekinesis, there's no way he's living through that. The banana slug is going to give first blood, and I get a prize for it.
Yeah, I saw that. And picking up that prize from the Squee first blood. I'm going to want that. I'm a big fan of Squee. He's a very strong mid player. Pretty high rating as well, but I shan't reveal it on stream. But yeah, quality player. I play with him quite a bit. He can get pretty reckless, though, which is maybe a downside of his playstyle. He claims that he gets bored, and sometimes games are thrown, but giving him the first blood, not really the best way to start this game off here for BCP.
Well, a bored Quaswex Invoker is a non-potential using Quaswex Invoker. He could actually be in a lot of trouble now, as there's a lot of wars doing a lot of damage. Can they get enough? And looks like actually the rotation from Cryogar will pick up a return kill, and Squee is going to walk away with, well, it was like 40 or 30 health. That was a
really showing the power of 2 points in Quas. He was out regenning any poison coming out from the Plague Wards with the Poison Sting, and with that salve, he's already back up to full HP. He's low on mana, which is going to hurt him a bit. You know, Invoker doesn't go bottle. Actually, he did go bottle, believe it or not. So maybe he bought that in response to just getting so low. Yeah, the Invoker game's been changing up a little bit. Checking out the bottom lane, though, looking at the farm here, we find 13-1 here on the Bristleback, so he's not too phased by the duo lane, but Factor Fiction getting basically free farm at this point. 15 last hits on the Templar Assassin.
Yeah, I mean, 15 is not bad by all means. It's going to be a Cryojar coming right back into this lane, looking to do some damage, but for the most part, it's just going to be TA going and trying to get those last hits. And she's actually doing a lot of pure damage on that refraction, or what is it? Psyblade, sorry. So, yeah, some good damage going out there. The creep wave's actually pushing a little bit, so this is going to be an interesting lane to keep an eye on for the next couple of minutes. Other lanes doing fairly well, though. We have the Invoker sitting at the top of the board with Viper a close second. And it looks like BCP are falling a little bit behind on those last hits overall.
Yeah, on the golden XP graphs, they find themselves trailing 1,000 gold already, and actually some more action in the bottom lane. Krygar in a bit of trouble. Fact or Fiction, he's got some Viscous Nasal Glue stacking up on him, but here comes Tambo and looking for the Earth Spike, and there it's going to be, but the Tombstone down in front of everybody. Watashiwa going to not be able to get away. Fact or Fiction will bring him down. He might even be able to get another one. Krygar's got no mana, therefore he can't use another Decay. Had he had enough mana for a Decay, that would have been a 3-man Decay. He'd have like 400 more HP, but the rotation already coming down. Squee will shoot the Tornado, just catch one here, but enough mana for Refraction, turning it around. Fact or Fiction going to force off that Invoker.
Just look at the damage coming out from Fact or Fiction. She turned around on that Invoker and just kind of slapped the silly out of him. And I'm not even sure if that's an actual phrase, and I just mixed two things up, but he was taking chunks at a time, and he couldn't do anything about it. Once that Refraction came up, then there was no damage going out.
Yeah, without Viper, they don't really have enough instances of damage to fight that TA, so they're going to have to be pretty careful about that.
Well, they took out the Tombstone, which was half the battle there. If the Tombstone had stayed up, then those zombies would have burned through that Refraction faster than you could even say Refraction.
Well, it's a pretty long word, so... But yeah, definitely. They definitely focused the Tombstone quickly, and that was a wise thing. Bristleback was down as well, because Quill Spray, of course, will just be able... Ah, never mind, same team, but... So people do know the interaction. Quill Spray does just take out the zombies. Something to note if you draft an Undying for some reason. I'm not a big fan of the hero. He doesn't offer much disable. He doesn't rotate very well, but, you know, they're doing okay. They showed up in the mid lane to get the first blood, and they showed up again for the counter gank and turned that around.
So they have some pretty decent rotations going around overall, and we're probably going to see that come into play as this Invoker, who we typically know a Crosswex Invoker for running around and ganking often. We're probably going to see that come into play as he starts rotating lanes every
Bottom lane, Fact or Fiction in trouble. He's got one more meld. I do believe he can't meld though because he's just going to be chased down. There's a couple more Quill Sprays, but they will back off. They don't want to have the TPs come in while they're diving the tier 1 tower. So TA will live. Forcing out some bottle charges here.
Yeah, and a smart move to just kind of back off, as TPs would have been disastrous to come in. But the wave is going to push now. They have an open opportunity to try to get some damage either on her or on the tower. Playing it back, playing it smart. Meanwhile, Tabo is looking for that hint of over-aggression. The rotation in from Shredder. Can they find the Rubik here? It looks like they're going to find the Courier. The Courier is going to spot them out, and the immediate disengage as they know they're not going to get a kill off this. Oh, mid lane
again. Yeah, Jenkins in trouble. The Cold Snap goes off. Krygar still chasing, but there's the Moonlight Shadows from the Mirana. She picks it up at level 6. Well, most likely level 6. She's 7 now, so she could have waited one more, and we see Krygar maybe overextending. He's got enough mana and 2 more seconds for a Decay, which could potentially kill Jenkins. Moonlight Shadows is going to run out, but 3 heroes converging right now onto this poor Undying. He should be a casualty here. Indeed, he will.
For that. He was looking for the Decay onto Jenkins, trying to find it, but unfortunately Jenkins played it beautifully. He was just on the edge of that range. He was trying to bait it out so that it would have been a missed Decay, but he ended up spending it onto Shredder there, trying his best to get a little bit of extra damage off, maybe give himself that boost he needed to survive, but he wasn't getting away from that. A Venomancer slow is way too much, and when you're being chased down by a Scorched Earth Doom, you're taking a lot of damage very quickly.
Yeah, and let's see, the Midas was delivered right after that fight, so about 7 minutes, 40 seconds here on the Midas Ring of Bass timing. So just looking to get up the armor a little bit because, of course, Doom has way too much armor. So, gets the Ring of Bass. He also has mana problems, so that regen really helps him out jungling.
Definitely, and you mentioned the Soul Ring. Well, yeah, I can see where that would come in handy, especially when you're just trying to get those Scorched Earths and Devourers off every single creep wave to help you jungle up a lot more effectively. Of course, he decides he doesn't need it this time, and now an engagement on the bottom. They throw down the Tombstone. It looks like Fact or Fiction trying to take it out, but can't take it out before the Lion takes a fall there. Watashi looking to dive in, but does not go any further. Gets the Nasal Goo out. There's a haste rune spent on Fact or Fiction. She's looking to chase down Watashi. There's a Decay to fly out, and she's immediately going to back up does not want any more of that. Looking for vengeance, will not find it just yet. Fight may not be over, though. Here comes No Snitching, trying to get some telekinesis off, but instead takes a lot of damage. There's telekinesis, decay to fly, nasal goo. Is it going to be enough to take her down? She's moving way too fast. The Haste Rune still got plenty of time left. She should get away, but here's a rotation in from Squee. The Haste Rune does fall off. There's going to be a tornado soon. They have the Wex to catch up to her if he wants to throw it out. Deciding to hold it off for a little bit. Wants the Cold Snap. Will end up throwing it. There is the EMP. It's going to fly, do no damage to Refraction, but they are going to be able to chase her down with the Cold Snap to get the damage. Meanwhile, a killing spree for Shredder in the top lane.
Yeah, top lane. Viper goes down, going to get ganked up. Potentially the arrow landed. I don't know. We weren't quite there. There was line to set it up. He's got full mana, but then again, he does have mana drain, so hard to tell exactly how it went down. The important thing is Viper's dead. It's a kill. It's another kill for Shredder on that Doom, so he's doing quite well and some damage to the top tier 1 tower, actually. Not much damage.
Yeah, but they lost their TA in the meantime, and that's certainly not a hero you want to die. She was looking for vengeance and just could not seem to find it. They also did lose the Lion in that engagement. No Snitching. What's he going to steal up? It looks like he got the Venomous Gale, though it wasn't there to chain off the Tornado, though. And here comes Tabo to just be the scare factor for the disengage.
Yeah, and he puts rank 2 in Gale. I almost got to disagree with this. I think maxing out Poison Sting and Plague Wars is going to be way better. You get a lot more damage over time. You might not notice it as much, just because it's more gradual, it's over time, but you're slowing down everyone 14%. The slow does scale on Poison Sting.
He's going to have a Gale go on him. Yeah, he's going to die here. There was way too much. The Earth Spike was there. The Gale was there. Squee looking for the return kill. The Cold Snap on the Tabo. This one hit should be enough. Meanwhile, a Viper Strike gets spent out on Jenkins. First one of the game I've seen, and that's going to be a kill. Going the way. Double for Squee here on the Invoker.
Yeah, he's dominating right now. So he got the one kill from the mid lane. He just picked up a kill on the TA in the bottom lane. Then coming back over to mid, some more action in his neck of the woods. He's going to pick up a double kill off of that. So it's 6-5 here, somewhat early in this game. We're at 11.5 minutes as TP's into the bot lane to defend their tower. We got 60 CS for Squee, 51 here for the Doom. That's Shredder, the top farmers, but it's past 10 minutes, so over to net worth we go. 5.2k right now on Shredder, of course. Devour, very strong spell. He's got that Midas since 7 minutes as well. Invoker, however, dominating as we mentioned. Squee, 5.1k in second place as the mid-tier 1 tower will go down. And bot lane.
Yep, so actually it looks like Factor Fiction. He's going to go down again there to Squee. And that's a 5-0-1 for this Invoker. What a player right now. He is single-handedly controlling this game. It seemed to be going in relatively even at 12 minutes. You said it was 6-5 and now 7-5. He's got a Drum of Endurance out. And he's going to start really snowballing. And if the TA is the one at the back end of that snowball, then she herself won't be able to snowball as quickly.
Yeah, I think at this point, someone just needs to pick a Tuskar so we can say snowball more. But Factor Fiction in trouble. Did you? Wow, that's awesome. Factor Fiction in trouble, though. Everything goes out. They had dust, so we can't meld. Can't really run either. I think Bristleback is... Was Bristleback even there? No, Bristle... Oh, denying the mid lane. That's actually going to be Bristleback punching Rubik in the face for the greater good. So that works out for them. Over in the bottom lane still, though, it's going to be Los Meepos Hermanos taking out that tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. So Kriegar going to pick up the gold for that.
Yeah, they committed that Poison Nova only for it to be denied, and on a Rubik nonetheless. So that's a little bit of a slap in the face of Jenkins there. But he's going to get over it. He's still got plenty more Novas to throw out over the course of this game. Getting really close to Mech. Should be able to have it before 15 minutes if he stays alive. That kill would have been the mechanism, but unfortunately not able to pick it up due to the fact that Bristleback was on top of punching teammates in the face.
Yeah, well, speaking of the mechanism, the other guy that dishes out the poison, the Viper, he's got his. He picked it up a couple, maybe 30 seconds ago, so about a 13-minute mech here for Game Blouses. He will get hit in the face by an arrow, or at least it clipped his wing, and I think he's going to be going down here that long 5-second stun. 3-man Earth Spike actually coming out from the Lion. Tabo, though, is he going to be able to live through this? The mech was already used. We got some wand charges on Game Blouses. He picks up the kill, but he goes down, and you almost got to say that's worth it. A lot of TPs were used there, and they trade 1 for 1 as that arrow is going to be off the mark. No one quite running that way.
was a well thought arrow. Unfortunately, not quite there. But yeah, definitely. When you're trading a lion for a viper, then that's a decent trade to have. Of course, you know, you'd rather not have your guys die, but Squee was the one that kind of prevented that clean kill there. And now it looks like Squee again is going to give the okay to go in again. In fact, the tornado doing a lot of damage. They're going to go ahead and throw out some auto attacks to Decay, looking to try to pick up Shredder there, but it's not going to be enough. No snitch and wanted the Fable. He wants the Doom right now. He stole it up. God bless me, getting another item for another allied hero denial. What was that? It was Bristleback this time on the receiving edge of the team kill there. But
top tower is under attack.
Yeah, definitely. Rubik trying to get the Doom out, did not quite get it, and Shredder barely getting away from that.
Yeah, well, he's got the Doom to hold on for a while. They'll be able to fight and use it. Likely, assuming they want to. I feel like, let's see, leading, yeah, they're still in a pretty decent place. They've got this Invoker, and they've kind of got the momentum as a result of him being 6-0 and 2. And he's been landing some really big tornadoes, and he's got to keep it coming. He's got 2.4k in the bank right now, so I think a Force Staff is likely to be his next item. Maybe a Blink Dagger if he wants to be a little more reckless. No, he's actually going to go straight for an Ultimate Orb, so I think he's trying to get a Sheepstick online to be able to focus down either the Doom or the Templar Assassin.
Yep. Well, teams are staring at each other from across the river for the next couple of minutes. Actually, yeah, no, it's just a word. Quick weather report. It has started snowing where I am, so fingers crossed. No power outages, as well as fingers crossed for both these teams. Hopefully everyone stays online, stays safe, and everyone watching that maybe on the East Coast, keep yourselves stocked up, and hopefully we all weather this one out together.
Yeah, it's actually started storming where I am too, but it is just more of a tropical storm down here in Miami. But either way, Arrow coming across the mid lane just misses Squee there as he's almost maxed out all of Wax, so he's going to be extremely quick.
On the top lane, they go immediately onto the Bristleback. The Doom is there, and we just see how much that incapacitates him. He's going to go down to the damage over time, but it was more the auto attacks that were dealing the heavy brunt of that. And that was just him being way out of position. He didn't see that Shredder was coming in from behind the lines. They didn't even need to use a Moonlight Shadow. They used one now out in the mid lane. The Doom
yeah, they're in
flies.
trouble in the mid lane.
Yeah.
There was a 3-man tornado by Squee to start things off. Then the Tombstone is going to get dropped down. A couple big decays. The Moonlight Shadow gets most of them out. It's just the Venomancer falling. And Tybo going to try to deny himself to the Ancients. Will do just that. Mirana's still pretty healthy, so she's lingering around near her tier 2, as I think the bottom tier 2 tower may have fallen there. Los Hermanos picking that one up.
Yep, and Factor Fiction picking up the tier 1 on the top lane as in a response. Talking about Mirana sticking around, well, she almost got caught out pretty big time by these 3 punching on the tier 2 mid. She's got to be careful. The tornado barely missing. But will it be enough to let her get away? She does have Leap off cooldown. It's just kind of hanging around. She throws the arrow, and it does hit on the Cryogar. That's a lot of damage. They throw down the ward. There's the poison, the Venomous Gale. And the EMP, not enough to save him. Meanwhile, Factor Fiction, the Refraction burned down in a very short amount of time. She should be going down really quickly. She doesn't have the move speed to get away. There's the Earth Spike, not enough to save her. The arrow to fly. Squee taking a lot of damage, that Finger of Death. But meanwhile, on the back lines, Game Blouse is going straight on the Mirana, doing enough damage. The Nether Toxin giving him a killing spree. The Doom will fall this time to Watashi, getting a lot of revenge kill off on that one. And now Jenkins, he's in the wrong neighborhood, and he's going to go down in the trees. Monster kill for Squee.
Wow, for a while there, Squee had no spells to be able to use. Invoke was on cooldown, both Cold Snap as well as Tornado. I think at the time maybe it was EMP and Tornado on cooldown. For about 10 seconds he didn't have a spell to use. And I thought when Bags and Chips and Pepperoni, when they broke that high ground with the Doom there, I thought that was going to turn out really well. But they were, again, not able to really kill either Watashiwa here on the Bristle or Game Blouses on the Viper, and those heroes kind of just whittled them down. And well, the tier 2 tower falls, but before that it was in a team wipe. Both Meepos Hermanos now pulling way ahead on the graphs.
it was just a chaotic fight overall. And when you've got chaotic long fights, that benefits or that favors the Undying, who's going to be having a lot of zombies out and about. That favors the poison of the Viper, who's just going to be dealing so much damage over time and being able to pick off the low HP units. And it also favors the Bristleback, who's going to get a lot of stacks off on that Quill Spray and on the Warpath, just deals so much damage. And then you got to factor in the amount of spells that Rubik's going to steal over that time, and the amount of spells that Invoker is going to be able to throw out. These long team fights are Meepos Hermanos' specialty.
Indeed, and let's see, checking in on the items here. There is a Vanguard, so that was the choice earlier for Bristleback. Actually, 2 TPs. One almost got canceled by an arrow, but this is in the bottom lane because, of course, Shredder threw out a Doom here on the Bristleback. Let's see if they can't deny another one. Actually, more action up top as Jenkins will go down, and I'm getting an item for that one. Is that a Squee Godlike streak? I'm going to cherish that item. Hopefully, we can get it autographed one day when Squee is famous, but for now, we're going to have to wait. Bottom lane, Shredder in some trouble. I think he's going to turn it around. I think that might have even been a damage multiplier with Tashawa being really, really ballsy with this one. Going to just try to TP out. I don't think they have the damage. No, they do not. Up top, though, Los Meepos Hermanos, they will take out the top tier 1.
And Kryagar actually eating another arrow this time. It doesn't
He's
look
been
like
a sponge.
Yeah, he can't really do anything about it, but still, knowing that you can get those arrows off is half the battle. It's good for the confidence. And right now, 70 to 10 at 20 minutes. You need that confidence. Yep, bottom. Watashi barely getting away from an engagement with Tabo. I don't think Tabo quite had the damage unless he threw out the finger, but there was a mechanism from Game Blouses just to keep him alive, and well played by him. Straight
Is this
arrow.
Bristleback bugged out for you? He's not. He's just sliding around the map for me right now.
No, he's walking. He's kind of hopping. He's got 2 feet moving at the same time, so he's jumping everywhere. But he's not
must
gliding.
be nice.
It looks like a bunny, a really sadistic bunny.
Yeah, actually, we can maybe show the stream here. There's a ridiculous video for one of the Easter events or Easter Warcraft 3 map in Dota 1 with like the creepiest bunny of all time.
Well, failed EMP in the mid lane. Mirana able to leap out of the area of that to save her life. And that'll be the end of whatever that was going to be. 5 heroes for Los Meepos Hermanos have grouped up here in the mid lane, looking to press their advantage at 70 to 10. We look at the Golden XP graph, staying within 5,000 in both Golden XP, but still in the advantage of Los Meepos Hermanos. And they want to try to extend that, or else they will start to fall behind of these carries of bags of chips and pickles, or what? Oh, god damn it. I think I screwed that up.
Whatever.
Pepperoni.
It's their fault for having such a ridiculous name. But as we talk about that, the courier is going to get picked off here for the Dire. Game Blouse is going to get hit by an arrow. Whoa, lightning outside is crazy.
I wish there was
let's find that courier. The courier died up here, actually.
That's
Rip.
unfortunate.
As there might be a team fight. Arrow's going to catch 2. EMP to follow that up. Tabo will be cold snapped. He will drop, actually. And we've got a Shredder in some trouble. He did go Soul Ring, Refresher Orb, actually, so he does get off 2 Dooms in this scenario, but the Tombstone is down. Kryagar's still alive. They're trying to focus it at the zombies. No, Jenkins finally going to focus it down, but now he is being focused down, so he's in a bit of trouble. He should drop here to maybe Kryagar. Game Blouse is looking to be denied, but no, he will actually... Wow, Doom just runs out. He's able to mechanism up. Only the Rubik dies here. Jenkins hiding himself in the trees as he's the only one alive on his team right now.
Yeah, that was a awful, awful team fight for them. There was just so much that went wrong. They didn't have everyone quite ready to fight, and when they did have everyone in there fighting, people just got picked off left and right. The Doom went down, and the Viper could not follow up on that, no matter how hard Templar Assassin or who was playing that tried. And, well, it just kind of came down to the Tombstone being far too prevalent. The fact that Bristleback was out and about getting a lot of damage out on everyone, and that Viper was really just sitting through the Doom and not really caring.
Yeah, he was still, I mean, it was attacking without his, I'm not sure if Nether Toxin's actually disabled through Doom, but he definitely wasn't using Poison Attack or Viper Strikes, but he didn't really care. Game Blouse was still standing there like a man team fighting and was about to be denied, but happened to live at the nick of time and be able to use his mechanism. He does have a BKB, which I think is maybe an interesting choice. I guess it's so he's not going to be focused down by Finger of Death. That being said, there's a Doom that goes through BKB, and Viper has 25% magic resistance with corrosive skin maxed out. So maybe not the most necessary item, but I think safe.
Well, I'm looking at it. It doesn't look like Doom does cancel the passive of Viper. It doesn't mention it specifically, so I cannot be sure, but there is no mention of it doing that. So it looks like he still attacks with his passive, at least as far as I know.
Yeah, it sounds like more of the defensive passives are disabled by Doom rather than the offensive passives.
Which makes sense. He does have the refresher up now, so multiple Dooms will be flying. We might even be able to see 3 happening at one point with Rubik on the field. Still no Aghanim Scepter up for him, still working on his Force Staff, so that probably won't be coming out anytime soon. Maybe if this game goes 50 minutes, we might see one, but at the moment, I don't think as we're going to be seeing anything of the like. He's actually going to get hit up with a level death. Immediate re-engage, though. Getting Hex up. Can they do anything off of this? They can. There's a Moonlight Shadow. Not enough. The Sentry Ward goes down. The Tombstone does fall. What is it able to do? A lot. The zombies attacking, bringing down the Refraction. Factor Fiction trying to take out the Tombstone. He does get it, but at what cost? The Refraction does go back up. Meanwhile, Nushan being chased down by Bristleback and Invoker. Probably will die here. Pops a double damage, but Invoker is way too fast. He's moving really quickly. The Cold Snap to fly. They will be able to pick up the kill. Meanwhile, on the other side of the river, Taba with the passive of Game Blouses. That Nether Toxin cleaning him up way too fast. He goes down. It's another 5-man wipe, making it 25-11 at 25 minutes. And with Roshan falling to just 2 heroes, I think this is game, set, and match.
Yeah, it looks pretty hard for Bag of Chips to get back into this game. The last couple fights have gone horribly wrong. Completely chaotic, spread out fights. TA has to sit there and focus down the Tombstone, and while she's doing that, she's being focused down. That's pretty much been Factor Fiction's fate the last couple fights, as the Roshan will drop. Bristleback going to go ahead and take the Aegis. He might just go back to heal, and then I think the team might head up at top as 5 and look to end the game.
Yeah, he's got his Assault Cuirass. Well, he's almost got his Assault Cuirass, so that's going to be coming out when he heads back to base. And that's going to be the name of the game, is the minus armor with him. Just doing so much damage. After the zombies break down the Refraction of TA, she's really got no defense mechanism to go against this team. And even with Refraction, it just gets burned down too fast anyway. So she's got to worry about that. There's just not enough coming out on the side of Bags of Chips and Pepperoni. I believe it is BCP.
Got it.
I got it, and I'm going to stick with it. That's the only time I'm going to say it. I'm going to say BCP from now on so I don't screw it up anymore. Well, I say that, but I probably will forget.
Yeah, it's hard.
Either way, they just don't have items coming out fast enough, and they're getting cleaned up in every single fight they take. To be honest, to win this game, they just have to get their heroes with damage and with defensive capability. If they aren't able to get those out, then they are going to truly suffer in these team fights. And even when they do get strong, Rubik is going to make life very difficult for them with the prospect of, again, I keep saying the Ag Scepter, and I keep hoping for it. It keeps being so far out.
But gonna go for it.
He may, as I said, 50-minute games. If BCP can drag it out, then that's probably what it's going to come to. But BKB being popped just so that TA can get away from that bottom lane engagement. Rightfully so. If she had gotten Cold Snap, that would have been her death, most certainly. They don't have any other lockdown through BKB, so that will be into that. A Pipe of Insight out on Undying, and I believe it was you who mentioned the other day, to push up onto the high ground, you need a 20,000 golden XP advantage, a mech, and a pipe. Well, we're looking at a 10,000 gold and a 14,000 XP. The mech and pipe are done. Do you think it's time to push high ground?
Yeah, definitely. I think, well, why go high ground? You still can force maybe one more fight, or at least get some more reliable gold there from taking out the tower in the top lane, because a tier 2 still remains, so probably just going to fight and push to the top lane. I would expect them to, and that status, or that quote, I guess, I can't remember which pro player said it, but it was from an older meta, you know, back in 6.75, where Dota was a little more 4 protect 1, a little more farm until you're ready, and then push. It's not quite that case anymore, but I still think, you know, a decent gold XP advantage, maybe either or, depending on how the game is going, and a mech and a pipe are definitely going to be, you know, the start to winning a game.
Well, there's one Ag Scepter, and not on the Rubik, but definitely it's on the Invoker.
Ooh, Courier getting sniped up. Didn't have anything on it, though.
Where?
Marana picked it up there in the top lane, right over there.
Oh, that's depressing. You know, Toby mentioned it earlier in TKO. Every time a courier dies, he gains 1 pound from just eating out of depression.
Why?
It was
Courier dying
Tubby
is the
won
best.
2014. Shredder actually pushing a little too far, too fast, too furious. And, well, I could have made a too soon joke there, but I will not.
Tower is under attack.
It involved a certain actor, but the tower won't go down, and he will.
Yeah, we've got Doom going down. I don't really know how fast or furious his pushing actually was. The tower still stands, and he does not anymore. And this could be maybe the response from Los Meepos Hermanos. Doom is down, just checking if he has that buyback. He does not, so this very well could be the final push. The top tier 2 has already fallen. Squee gonna get things started off with a tornado. Look how far that goes. It will actually catch him. Gonna be throwing out the EMP. I feel like Squee maybe could have waited on that one. EMP quite good, but he's already gonna just go ahead and invoke up his other spells. He did go for the Ag Scepter, so Squee's ready to put on the show. 12-0-6. He better not die, or he is cut from the team.
I highly doubt that after the game he's played right now. Earthspike flies out and hits too. Meanwhile, the Hex on Watashi doesn't do anything, or at least enough. And the arrow did come out and hit, but it didn't do anything with that Pipe of Insight. Nasal Goo out on the Nusham. Here comes a tornado. That hits all the way to the edge of the map right there. From the mid lane. That is a long tornado. Here comes the Meatball. Again, the Meatball going for a very long distance. The Tombstone gets dropped. No snitching, picking up the first kill of the fight. They go down. Han to Shredder here. Gets picked up, put down, throws a Doom. Doesn't matter. Watashi is just going to eat that one. The GG does fly from the disgruntled Doom. The GGs will go all about. And that will be the end of game 1.
Yeah, I gotta laugh there. Squee missed like his entire combo right at the end, but it didn't really matter. He played pretty much a perfect game. He finishes it up 13-0-6. Taking a look at the net worth, he is out there in front at 15.7k. So well played here in game 1 between Los Meepos Hermanos. They take the victory and a bag of chips and pepperoni. I'm Healy Umbrella, and with me is Chicago Ted. We'll be back here for game number 2.